Today we'll show you how to troubleshoot motor and drivetrain problems with your Alias. The Alias is extremely durable, but after dozens of flights, and several of these, you might experience some drivetrain damage. Sluggish performance, excessive oscillation during recovery from flips, and difficulty maintaining a hover are possible symptoms of drivetrain damage. In this video, we'll show you how to troubleshoot damaged spur gears, weak motors, and bent prop shafts. Now, with some help from LaTrax flight expert Alex, let's begin with a visual inspection of the drivetrain. Inspect each corner of the Alias to check for worn, broken, or bent parts. Also check for debris that might be inhibiting smooth rotation of the blades and gears. Remove any debris that might be present before moving on to the next steps. Manually spin each blade and look for smooth and free motion. The blade should spin freely through several rotations with a light flick of your finger. If a blade does not spin freely, carefully inspect the spur gear to see if it has a split. If the spur gear appears to be in good condition, then you might have a problem with your motor or bearings. We'll troubleshoot those later in the process. Next, manually spin each blade again and observe the silver mounting screw in the middle of the blade. If the screw appears to wobble or move around in a circle, your prop shaft is bent and should be replaced. This Alias has one bent prop shaft. While you are spinning the blades, also inspect the spur gears to see if there are any broken teeth. If your spur gears are good and your prop shafts are straight, but your Alias is still having problems, perform a weak motor test. This will help to determine which specific corner needs attention. Turn on your transmitter and connect the battery to your Alias. Change to expert mode by clicking the right flight stick 2 times until the green LED is double flashing on the transmitter. Place your Alias on a flat surface, such as a table or countertop, and place the transmitter beside it. Make sure you leave plenty of room between the Alias and the transmitter though, as we will be powering up the Alias and spinning the blades. Place a finger on top of the canopy and press down firmly to prevent the Alias from taking off. Arm the Alias by moving down and clicking the throttle stick. Carefully move the throttle until the LCD indicates a number between 2 and 5. Slowly move the flight stick to the 4 corners on the transmitter. Observe and listen to the motors at each corner as you are going through this process. If one of the motors is slower or sounds different from the others, then that is the corner with the problem. Once you have identified the corner with the problem, disassemble that corner to determine if the motor or the bearings need to be replaced. Remove the propeller by taking out the silver screw with a 1.5mm hex wrench and gently pull the propeller off the shaft. Now remove the spur gear by pushing down on the prop shaft, then pushing the shaft back up from underneath and pulling the spur gear off. Spin the prop shaft in the bearings and see if the shaft spins freely. Spin it slowly with your fingers and feel for any rough spots or resistance. Reinstall the propeller without the screw and spin it with your finger. The prop should spin freely through several revolutions if your bearings are in good condition. If the bearings are good, then you will likely need to replace the motor. Reinstall your spur gear and propeller before replacing the motor. Be careful to install the spur gear correctly. The short side with the step faces down towards the bearing. Look for the flat surface on the prop shaft and ensure that it lines up with the flat surface inside the spur gear. Once the spur gear is in place, reinstall the propeller and the silver screw that attaches it to the prop shaft. Now you are ready to replace your motor. Click the link on your screen to see a detailed demonstration on replacing a motor. Once you have replaced your motor, you should perform the weak motor test again to confirm that your problem has been fixed. Notice how each motor sounds the same as the others? Now this Alias is good to go and ready for more flying fun. For more troubleshooting tips, flying instructions, and action videos, log on to LaTrax.com.